Every end-time signs foretold by Jesus. 1. Wars and rumors of wars. In Matthew 24 verses 6 to 7, Jesus said, "And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places." Everywhere you look right now, you'll see lots of conflicts and tensions between countries. The war in Syria, ongoing issues in places like Gaza and Ukraine, or even conflicts involving groups. The world is often in a state of unrest. Plus, the spread of weapons that causes mass destruction and the rise of terrorist groups make global security even more challenging. Also, because of technology and social media, news about conflicts spreads really fast. Sometimes, this includes rumors and false information that can make things seem even more tense, ultimately fulfilling Jesus' prophecy of rumors of war. 2. Natural disasters. In Luke 21 verse 11, Jesus said, "And there will be great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences, and there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven." Today, we see more and more extreme weather events happening all over the world, like hurricanes, tsunamis, floods, droughts, and wildfires. These disasters don't just hurt people and damage things. They also make existing problems worse, like making inequality between rich and poor worse and hurting the environment. Also, new diseases and pandemics, like COVID-19 or the Ebola virus, remind us how easily things can go wrong. Although these events make everyone scared and unsure about the future, they also remind us believers to focus on being spiritually ready for the coming of Christ. 3. Persecution of Christians. In Matthew 24 verse 9, Jesus warned his followers that, "Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake." Since the beginning of Christianity until now, Christians have faced mistreatment and even death because they follow Jesus. Back in the early days, both Jewish leaders and the Roman government were against Christians. They were arrested, tortured, and killed because they wouldn't give up their faith. Even though Christianity spread, persecution didn't stop. Today, in many parts of the world, Christians still face mistreatment, especially where there's religious extremism or unfair rulers. Places like North Korea and Nigeria are examples where Christians are arrested, hurt, or killed because they won't stop believing in Jesus. 4. The gospel preached to all nations. In Matthew 24 verse 14, Jesus said, "The message about God's kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world, so that all nations will hear it, and then the end will come." Back in the early days, people like Paul traveled to different places, risking their lives to tell others about Jesus. Even when they faced problems, they kept going, and Christianity spread to many different parts of the world. As time went on, better technology and easier ways to travel made it even easier to spread Christianity. The printing press, then radio, TV, and now the internet and social media have made it possible for millions of people to hear about Jesus. Today, there are online groups, digital Bibles, and even virtual church services that connect people from all over the world, even in places where it's hard to talk about Jesus openly. 5. The abomination of desolation. In Matthew 24 verse 15, Jesus says, "Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, pay attention." People have different ideas about what the abomination of desolation means. In old Jewish writings, abomination usually means things like worshiping false gods or defilement of sacred things. For Christians, when Jesus talks about the abomination of desolation, it means a powerful leader appearing, claiming to be like a god and telling everyone to worship him. Some people think it's not about a single leader, but more about spiritual apostasy happening within the church. They see it as a warning about false teachings or ideas creeping into the church, leading people away from the true faith. In this view, the abomination of desolation represents a spiritual emptiness and moral decay when people turn away from God. 6. False prophets and deception. In Matthew 24 verse 24, Jesus told his disciples, "For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." Throughout history, there have been many fake prophets who claim they speak for God, but really just want power or money. They trick people with fake miracles and teachings that sound good, but lead them away from the truth. Today, with the internet and social media, it's even easier for lies to spread. People can make up stories and spread them quickly, making it hard to tell what's true. It's important for believers to be careful and not get fooled by these false prophets. 7. Increase of lawlessness and love growing cold. In Matthew 24 verse 12, Jesus said, "And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold." This warning shows how society will become more morally messed up and chaotic as people move away from what God says is right and from showing love and fairness to others. Throughout history, societies have had problems with things like unfairness, dishonesty, and people not caring about each other. But in the end times, these issues will become even worse than before. Today, we can see signs of more lawlessness in many parts of the world. Crimes, including violent ones, stealing, and cheating, happen a lot. Also, corruption in politics, where people in power do things for their own benefit, makes it hard for people to trust the government and follow the rules. Plus, unfair treatment and inequality in society make life harder for some people, causing more tension and conflict. 8. Celestial signs. In Matthew 24 verse 29, Jesus said, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken." Different experts have different ideas about what these celestial signs mean. Some see them as symbols of big changes and disruptions that will happen before Jesus comes back. They think the darkening of the sun and moon, along with stars falling, represent the collapse of powerful people and human-made systems when God judges the world. Others interpret Jesus' words as describing real events, like a solar or a lunar eclipse. Whether these signs are seen as symbols or real events, they're important because they show that the end times are coming and Jesus will return soon. In Matthew 24 verse 36, Jesus says, "No one knows when that day or hour will come, not the angels in heaven, nor the Son. Only the Father knows." This statement highlights how God's timing for Christ's return is mysterious and beyond human understanding. Despite signs that may precede it, the exact moment remains a secret known only to God. Throughout history, people have tried to predict when Jesus will come back, using interpretations of the Bible or signs they see. But every attempt has failed, showing that humans can't figure out God's timing. For believers, this uncertainty means we should focus on living faithfully and being prepared for Jesus' return. Instead of getting caught up in trying to guess when it will happen, we should concentrate on spreading the gospel and helping others follow Jesus. The uncertainty also means us believers should live with urgency, making the most of our time to serve God and build up each other while we wait for Jesus. As the Apostle Paul said, "Be alert and of sober mind, and to encourage one another and build each other up, as we await the day of the Lord." 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 6 and 11. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe for prayer videos and contents focused on the Christian faith.